When I saw the patrol lights behind me, I actually smiled. It was almost midnight, and I just left a friend's apartment across town. My brother Ryan worked that district sometimes. A few months earlier, he'd pulled over our cousin just to lecture him about expired registration while laughing the entire time. So when the lights flashed, my first thought was, Ryan's being annoying again. I pulled over beside a closed pharmacy and waited. But when he walked up to the driver's window, something felt wrong immediately. No grin, no casual knock on the glass. His face looked emptied out. Lights and registration. I remember staring at him for a second, too long. Seriously? Lights and registration. His tone made my stomach tighten. We'd argued 3 weeks earlier at our mother's birthday dinner. Nothing dramatic. Just years of resentment finally surfacing sideways. Ryan thought I looked down on him because I made more money working in software consulting. I thought he treated authority like a personality instead of a responsibility. By dessert, we weren't speaking. Still, none of that prepared me for what happened next. 2 additional patrol cars arrived before he even ran my information. That was the moment amusement disappeared completely. Ryan asked me to step out of the vehicle. I did. Cold air. Passing traffic. One officer standing too close behind me already. What's going on? You tell me. Then he cuffed me. Not roughly. Professionally. Which somehow made it worse. I kept waiting for the reveal, the joke, the correction. Instead, Ryan searched the car while another officer guided me toward the hood of the cruiser. A minute later, Ryan straightened up holding a small plastic bag, white powder inside. My entire body went numb. That yours? I actually laughed once from shock. What are you doing? No answer, just procedure. Miranda rights. Evidence bag, radio traffic, everything moving forward with terrifying confidence at the station. Reality became administrative very quickly. Fingerprints, property inventory, forms. I kept saying the same thing. He planted it. Nobody reacted emotionally. Why would they? Every person's arrested probably says some version of that. One younger officer looked uncomfortable, though, not convinced. Just uncomfortable. Ryan barely looked at me during processing. That hurt more than anger would have, because anger at least acknowledges relationship. He acted like I'd already become paperwork. Sometime around 4 in the morning, sitting alone in a holding room, I remembered the dashcam. 3 weeks earlier, after someone sideswiped my parked car, I'd installed a high-end system with cloud backup and interior recording, mostly for insurance protection. I almost missed the significance entirely because panic narrows your thinking. When my attorney arrived that morning, exhausted and irritated, I asked her to retrieve the footage immediately. Everything changed 12 hours later, not dramatically. Quickly, it was. A supervising lieutenant entered the interview room and asked me to repeat my timeline carefully from the beginning. Different tone now, measured. Behind him, Ryan stood near the doorway, looking pale in a way I'd never seen before. The lieutenant placed a tablet on the table, dashcam footage, clear angle through the windshield. Ryan approaching my car before activating body cam recording, glancing around, opening the rear driver's side door briefly. Then, walking back to his cruiser before initiating the stop officially. The timestamp mattered. So did the audio, because inside the vehicle, before he approached my window formally, the interior camera captured him, muttering something I don't think he realized had been recorded. You should kept your mouth shut. Silence filled the room afterward. Not cinematic silence, institutional silence, the kind where careers begin ending invisibly. Ryan finally looked directly at me then, not apologetic, just stunned. I think part of him genuinely believed procedure would protect him automatically, that once the arrest started moving, nobody would slow down enough to question him. The lieutenant took the tablet back without commenting. Then he told another officer to uncuff me. That moment felt stranger than the arrest itself. No triumphant relief, no anger. Just this overwhelming exhaustion from realizing my brother had crossed a line I didn't fully believe existed until then. Tinel affairs moved quickly after that, faster than I expected. Probably because the evidence was so clean. The charges against me disappeared within days. Ryan was suspended pending investigation. At home, things became uglier in quieter ways. My mother cried constantly but kept talking about both her sons like we'd participated equally in some mutual tragedy. It was. An uncle called to ask whether I could let the department handle it privately. Nobody asked me what it felt like to sit handcuffed beside the road while my own brother tried to bury me under official paperwork. Ryan texted once during the investigation. No apology, just, you didn't have to ruin my life over this. I stared at that message for a long time, because buried underneath it was the thing I couldn't stop grieving. He still thought the problem started with the recording, not with what he did before it existed. A month later, I drove alone for the first time since the arrest. When I started the engine, the dashcam powered on automatically. A soft electronic chime filled the car. Before all this, I never would have noticed that sound. Now I sat there listening to it longer than necessary, realizing something I hadn't wanted to admit. The camera hadn't destroyed my brother's career. It had simply witnessed who he'd already decided to become.